Hey guys, welcome back to How to Roll Dice. I'm Josh, and today we're going to be doing a review and walkthrough of CaptainCon. I took my camera gear and my gimbal and everything with me, and I filmed most of the weekend to give you guys a good sampling of what the convention is like. We had a ton of fun, and I wanted to sort of walk you through the weekend, starting with the first night. So we just checked in at our hotel, which is the hotel for CaptainCon because the convention and the hotel is sort of where you stay. As you can see here, I've gone full gimbal for the convention. And I also have my new lenses. I don't know if you guys can tell. You probably can't tell from looking at it, but this is a brand new Sigma lens, or sorry, Tamron lens. I have another new Tamron lens. I'm going to be filming on this one and shooting pictures with both. Also, I'm officially wearing my kilt, which I generally wear for gaming weekend type things. So there's that. But yeah, this is the beginning of the weekend. It's Thursday night. The convention starts tomorrow morning. We're here.
Ah! We got booze.
So as you guys can see, we showed up on Thursday night, the night before the convention started, and we like to do that whenever we go to a convention, whenever possible, because it lets you sort of ease into the weekend instead of showing up and everything's already going like full guns blazing. And it gets you this cool experience where you get to walk around in some cases and sort of experience the venue before it turns into absolute chaos, before there's thousands of people and hundreds of games going on and noise and commotion, which is great. That's all part of the weekend. But it gives you this nifty sort of like behind the scenes backstage pass feeling to get to see the vendor booths before the vendor has like officially set up, or to see the captain's log, the check-in desk before any of the prizes have been put out, or see the tabletop wargaming room where it's just a bunch of bare tables with no terrain and no miniatures on them. You really get to feel like you're sort of like part of the setup crew almost, and in some cases we are. But not for this one. For this one, the guys at CaptainCon handled it. So another nice thing about showing up the night before is sometimes you get to pick up your badges early. In this case with CaptainCon, they weren't doing any mailed badges because of what's going on with sort of the world. And so it was all pick up, will call when you got there, but we were able to get ours the night before. So we got to avoid lines, which is nice. The other cool thing is we got to pick up a good chunk of our captain swag. My wife and I actually purchased captain's badges, which is something that you can do if you want to attend CaptainCon. Instead of paying the regular, I think it's $70 for a weekend pass for the 3-day convention, you can pay a little bit more, something like $100 or $110, and you get what's called a captain's badge. And that comes with some special privileges. You get a massive swag bag, well worth the $30 or $40 difference. You get a limited edition coin, a limited edition dice, a limited edition pin, and limited edition badge. You get a CaptainCon pint glass. You get a CaptainCon coffee mug. You get a neoprene dice mat from one of the vendors. You get an entire starter box set of tabletop wargame models from another one of the vendors. I would have to guess you get a t-shirt. You get Captain printed on your badge. You earn players that play board games and tabletop games with you, like casual games, extra points at the captain's log when they turn in their points to earn prizes. You literally are a more valuable asset to people that want to play games. So it's easily worth the $30 or $40 difference. I would say I would have to guess what came in the sort of CaptainCon swag bag, and literally it's a bag. It's like an over-the-shoulder backpack that you can put a bunch of merch in that has the CaptainCon 2020 logo on it. I would have to say it was worth easily $100, close to it anyways. So yeah, when you're talking about spending an extra $30 or $40 for that, I think it's well worth it. And you can see some of the halls here, some of the rooms, some of the vendor spaces, or some of the ballrooms have already been set up and have started to collect a bit of a player base because a lot of people like us like to show up the night before. And so you can see the SRG room has some games going. There's some people hanging around in the Malifaux room. There's some casual gaming going out by the games library, starting to get into the mood and get things going, because once the convention starts, it's just this rolling 72 hours of nonstop gaming. If you're into that kind of thing, you can always go back to your room and sleep, but some people just choose not to. And that's one of the nice things about the convention being in the hotel. You literally come down from your hotel room into the lobby, turn a corner, and you're heading down the hall into the convention. You can see that most of the board game library has been set up here. These are games that you can check out by simply handing in your ID, whether it be a passport or a driver's license, whatever, some type of identification, and they just give you the game to go play with your friends for as long as you want. And then when you bring it back, you get your ID back and you can check out another game. It's basically your typical library type system. And beside that, right now it's kind of vacant, but you can see the captain's log. This is where you can turn in your points to get prizes. Every time you play a casual game, you play a tournament game, you demo with a vendor, you purchase from a vendor, you actually get points, and they get accrued up and calculated on this nifty computer system that CaptainCon has. And then anytime you want, you can go and check how many points that you have, and you can turn them in for pretty legitimate prizes. So it's a very, very icy day here in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New England area, and apparently my mother just called and said that someone almost hit our house coming down the road near our house, took out our neighbor's mailbox and hit my mother's car in the driveway. So my wife is currently calling our neighbor who has a high definition security camera that covers the entire front of our property. So hopefully that captured it. So after starting Friday off with a bang, we decided to head over to the check-in booth because there's actually a few things we forgot to do the night before. Mainly, we forgot to grab our captain logs. Your captain log is basically your program for the weekend for the entire convention. It shows you a map of the entire area of sort of who's in what room, what games are being played in what ballrooms or what halls, where you can play casual games, where different tournaments and events are going on, what different events are happening over the course of the weekend, different seminars that you can attend, information on the painting competition, the costume competition, everything that's happening. It also tells you exactly how you can earn points or stamps, and those are what you're going to turn in at the captain booth to actually get different prizes over the course of the weekend. Now, this is basically a giant grid of all the different vendors and all the different games and different demos and different things that you can do over the course of the weekend. And when you sort of achieve one of those accomplishments, when you shop at a vendor or when you participate in a demo for a new game, that vendor will stamp your book. And then you bring that over to the captain booth and they'll actually log in their computer system those stamps, and that's what earns you points. And there's a whole different slew of ways that you can earn points and that you can sort of stack points up. Now, we had forgotten to grab those, and also we had gotten a few pieces of captain merch for my wife and I that we hadn't picked up the night before because they weren't ready. I believe it was the pint glass, the coffee mug, and maybe one or two other things, but they weren't ready the night before, so we picked those up. Also, Bryant and Brian decided that they wanted to pick up some additional merch that they didn't get because they didn't purchase captain badges, and so we had to wait in line a bit for them so they could pick out what they wanted. I believe it was Bryant really wanted to find the number 87 captain coin for the year. 87, I believe, is Gronkowski's number. He's a big Patriots fan, even though Gronk is now on Tampa Bay, and anywho. And then we made our way sort of into the convention area. You can see there's a bigger crowd today. This is early in the morning, right around 9 a.m. So things are still ramping up. People are still flowing in. But you can see the vendors are starting to set up. They've got most of their product out on the table, but some of the fancier vendors are doing things like hanging things up on peg shelves, putting up special lighting. I also popped into the War Machine Hordes 40K Crisis Protocol, sort of the biggest tabletop room, just as one of the morning tournaments was getting started. So you can see everybody sort of gathered around, getting the information on the tournament, making sure they have all of the rules in order and understand what the process is going to be for sort of finding your matches, playing through your matches. They're introducing the judges. They're sort of letting everybody know how the judging is going to work. If you need help, if you need a call from a judge, how to call them over, stuff like that. And then we kind of just enjoyed the rest of the day, which I didn't get a ton of footage of because we weren't doing anything extremely exciting. We were basically playing board games that I had brought from home that I had purchased that we haven't gotten to play yet. So I brought 9 or 10 different games and we cranked through as many as we could. You've probably already seen my sort of quick on-the-fly review for Parks and for Red Cathedral up on my channel now. If you haven't, you can go check them out. I haven't done proper reviews for them yet, but those are just quick little like how we felt about them. We also played Honey Buzz. That was a great game. Really enjoyed that. We picked up Keyforge. We played 2 or 3 games of that. Really like that. I'm gonna put that at the top of my TCG list, even though it's not really a TCG. But as far as like being in the realm of a Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon-esque game, it absolutely shoots to the top of that list for reasons that I will go into in a proper review later.
That FD is here.
I saw that guy. Yeah.
No, I mean there's more FD outside.
Oh, are there?
Yeah.
I just saw the one.